Hello and welcome back to the Eat, Sleep, Lift, Repeat podcast. I am your host, Charlotte from Charlotte Mitchell Coaching, and I am stoked and happy and excited and every other adjective you can think of that you are joining me here today, wherever you are in the world and whatever time of the day it is for you. If you don't already, you can follow me on social media, Facebook or Instagram at Charlotte Mitchell Coaching. Real easy, same name for both of them. Keeps life simple. Keep it simple. And today we're going to be chatting, or I'm just going to chat to you a little bit about mindset. It's something that comes up a lot through coaching so many ladies through a journey, through a process, is how they come in to me at the beginning with their mindset. And the thing that's really common is the living in used to land. So I used to do this, I used to do that, I used to. And then also a very much an all or nothing mentality. Now I'm going to touch on that first one. They used to land. I was slipping into this myself a little while ago as well. I'd had chronic back pain for ages, and I was really struggling to train with any kind of intensity, do anything. Sometimes couldn't even stand up. When I got out of bed in the morning, my left leg wouldn't take me, and I'd pretty much fall down. Couldn't put socks on for the love nor money. That was quite funny trying to watch me do that. And I started to live in that mindset, and it happens over a period of time. These things don't happen like overnight. Over a period of time, you catch yourself starting to say, I used to train. That's something I used to do. I used to lift heavy. I used to barbell back squat. I used to be able to leg press like twice my body weight. I used to be able to do X, Y, Z. And when you start to do that, your mindset starts to shift as well as to like what you can achieve. And so this is one of the things that's really common that I see with a lot of my ladies when they come to me, is they all say, well, I used to run, I used to swim, I used to go to the gym, I used to do this and do that. And that's something we work very hard to try and get back to, so that you get out and you snap out of used to land. And that's taken me now. I started coaching with my own coach in March, and it has taken me until literally today to have that realization that I am no longer living in used to land. I mean, that's a really big thing. Like, it's taken a long time to get to this point. I've had to train really slowly. We've had to spend a lot of time going to the osteopath and having acupuncture on my back and working out what the problem was, and then fixing the problem and doing the remedial work and doing all of that groundwork to finally get to the point that today I was like, oh man, I leg pressed 80 kilos. I haven't seen that weight for a long time, and it felt good. And I did an entire workout and got to the end and was like, I felt good. I felt amazing. And it's trying to drag yourself out of used to land. But the thing I've really learnt into with that is support. And that's something I've really underestimated in my life, because I have always done everything on my own, sorted myself out. It's just the way that I've been. I've been self-employed since 2009. You just sort yourself. You sort your shit and you get it done. And I've never really had the kind of support that I've got now. And it's a pretty amazing thing to have that level of support, and to have somebody there that's holding you to a higher standard, but also telling you when to put your foot on the brake and when to put your foot on the gas. And coaching the person, not the process, but also making sure that I get what I need when I need it, not what I think I should have, but what I need when I need it. That's an amazing thing. So I really appreciate what it's like to live in used to land, because like I said, I was getting there myself. And then the other one is that all or nothing mindset. And I think what happens when you have this kind of mindset is It's the difference between having an abundance mindset or an infinite mindset and then having a fixed mindset or a finite mindset. And the difference between the two, if you don't know, the finite mindset or the fixed mindset sees what you're doing as a game with a start, middle and end, basically. So you will see that in your life, so I just dropped my phone on the floor, sorry if you heard that big bang. In your life, whatever the little games that you're playing within your life, they have a start, they have a middle and they have an end. And so what it can end up happening when you start a new game, so when you start a new journey, a new weight loss, fat loss, bodybuilding, strength training, whatever it is, if you go into these things, you can insert anything else as well that's not fitness related. You know, those are just the ones that came off the top of my head. But when you go into those things with a finite mindset, you will see a start, middle and end. And what ends up happening is when you hit a bump in the road, instead of thinking, okay, this is normal, this happens, what you actually do is go, game over, it's done. Can't do anymore because I hit a bump in the road and that's ended my game. And this can happen by having one bad day, one bad week, one bad month. It doesn't matter, but either way, you see it as a way of tapping out of the game. And this is very much the mindset that my ladies come with at the beginning. I see this a lot through social media, through everything, and that you've taught yourself to live in this finite mindset because it's safer. It is much safer and much easier to think, okay, I have failed, therefore I can quit. That's easier. What is harder is digging deeper and carrying on and learning to embrace and move into that abundance mindset, and that infinite mindset, and knowing that the game never ends. But it is much easier to tap out. Believe me, it's much, much easier because you don't have to face your fears. You don't have to face challenge. You don't have to face adversity. As soon as it comes along, you just push yourself out of the game. It's over. But every time that you do that, it erodes your confidence. And you move more and more into used to land. I used to do this. I used to do that. I used to be able to lose weight. I used to be able to train. I used to be able to do my steps. I used to be able to sleep. I used to. Insert your own used to. It erodes that confidence. And there's a little voice inside your head that starts to get louder. And what it says to you is like, you're not good enough. You will never be able to do this. It hasn't worked for you. The last 6 times, 7 times, 8, 9, 10 times you've tried to do this didn't work, and you didn't see progress, and you didn't do anything. You didn't you didn't follow it through. You didn't get to where you wanted to be, and so every single time you start again, because you ended the last game, and you have to start again when you have done that. Every time you go in with slightly less confidence. Slightly less confidence in yourself, who you are, your own abilities, your own ability to do anything, to follow anything through, the own ability to set a goal and be able to get there and smash through that goal and get to the next goal. You know, you lose your confidence to be able to do that because you've eroded it yourself by playing to lose. You haven't played to win the game. You played to lose because every single time you kind of feel like that's what's going to happen. So you self-fulfill that prophecy. And this is what happens when you hit into yourself into a finite mindset, because there is a start, middle and end. And there is an end to the game. You will start playing that game to lose. You won't follow it through. You will see that you are a failure. That is what you will feel like. So you start on the back foot already. Now, what ends up happening is a lot of the ladies I work with, we have to unpick that. We have to really tap into that. And a lot of people I see don't necessarily ever get this opportunity because they don't have support to lean into to get to this place. But what you need to learn gradually is that step away, one, from that all or nothing mentality, and it is consistency over perfection. So what you're looking for is when you hit a bump in the road, a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, you can hold your hands up and say, do you know what? Yeah, that happened. Draw a line. Let's keep going. Let's keep going in the process. Let's keep going to our goal. Let's keep stepping forward. Take a step forward. Fail forwards if you have to, but don't stop and don't go backwards. Failing forward is better than stopping because you've tapped out of the game. It is better than playing to lose in the game. And it is one of the hardest things to do, because a lot of you listening right now are probably quite far along in your careers, and you might be at the top of your profession, a business owner. You know, you might have achieved a lot of things, but there comes a point where you think, what is there left to achieve? What have I got left to achieve? Can I achieve anything else? And when you start to, at this point in your life as well, set yourself new goals, new targets, and you push forwards, you fail forwards, but you keep going forwards, whatever happens, you don't stop, you keep going. When you start to do that, you start to realise that it doesn't matter where you are in your journey in life, you can still keep achieving new things. You can still keep pushing 1% forward every day, every week, every month, every year. You can still push forwards, but you have to change the way you think about it. And you have to start thinking about the bigger picture, about the longer term game. So yeah, you might think to yourself right now, and this is a common one I get a lot, I want to lose weight. I want to lose £10, £20, £30, £40, whatever it is, your goal, whatever you have to do. I want to lose weight. It's like, okay, what's the longer term goal? What happens when you've lost that weight? Do you just stop? Is that the game done? What do you do then? Because that's your danger time, because you think it's over. It's not over at that point. And you're starting to teach yourself to continuously think, okay, I've got this longer term game. I've got this longer term thing that I want to do. But along the way, along any journey, especially long ones, go in the car, you go on a long journey, you're not going to do it all in one go. You break it down into bite-sized pieces and you put pit stops in along the way so that you can keep your head down, you can drive to that place and you stop and you have a rest and a bit of bit of downtime, but you know you still got the journey to keep going. So this is what you have to start to think about is, play the long-term game. And the long-term game is the rest of your life. That's the long-term game. And then within that, you have little milestones, little pit stops, little destinations that you're going to get to, but it doesn't mean you've completed the journey. Because otherwise, when you get to a very small fixed point, very small little goal, you will get there and you'll tap out of the game. And you will go right back to where you started. Because that's the mentality you still have. You don't have the mindset of that infinite mindset, of that abundance mindset, of living life with an abundance mindset. You still have a fixed mindset. You gave yourself an end destination and you stopped. And you'll go back. And then you go back into that cycle again of you're not good enough. You got to where you wanted to be, but you didn't keep it, you didn't maintain it, you can't do it, you can't do this, you can't do X, Y, Z. You're a failure at everything. And you start talking to yourself like this, whether you realise or not. That is the way you will talk to yourself in a very negative light when these things happen. God, I rambled on for ages there. So that living in used to land and the all or nothing mentality all come, from my point of view anyway, they all come under this umbrella of a fixed mindset versus an abundance mindset, or a finite mindset versus a infinite mindset. They all come under that umbrella. And what you want to think is, okay, how do I play the long-term game? What is the long-term game for me? For me personally, it's longevity, health, brain health, physical health, mental health. And when I say brain health, I don't necessarily just mean mental health. I actually mean, staying sharp, staying focused, and then yes, mental health, having a balance through the emotions, and then my heart health, my muscle health, my internal health, my internal markers of health, and then having good relationships with friends, with family, with myself, being able to have energy to put into my career, into my job, into my work, into my clients, into my ladies, and then also being able to have even energy over a whole week, over a whole month, over a whole year, looking really quite consistent. So that's what my long-term game is. Now, along the way, I want to do, I want to leg press, twice my body weight again. I want to get back into being able to barbell back squat. But it's a journey to get there within my longer term game. It's just a little one along the way. Always thinking about the long term game. How can I be the best? How can I keep pushing forward over all areas? For me, my areas are very much my work, pushing my business forward, servicing my ladies, helping my ladies, changing lives. And then my relationships with my friends, my family, my relationship with myself. And then my brain, my mindset, my mental health, but also my brain health, my literal brain health. And then my body, my longevity, protecting myself against things that approach us as we get older, cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, all of these things. So those are my overriding things that I'm always thinking. Those are my long-term game throughout the whole thing. And because of that, it leads to consistency over perfection. I just want a consistent week. I want a perfect week. Perfect doesn't exist to me, because if I hit perfect, do you know what that is? It's the end of the game. What is there after perfect? I will go for consistent. And then what I look for is, can I improve on my consistency at all in any areas? And then from there, I start to look towards keeping going forwards, not living in used to land. I don't care if failure happens as long as I fail forwards. And when I'm failing forwards, I lean into support. Very new thing that I've learned. So I challenge you. Go away and think about it. What is your mindset like? Do you live in a finite mindset of lots of little games with a start, middle and end? When the end is done, you don't think about it. Whether you failed, won, lost, doesn't matter. There's a win, lose or draw in a finite game. Do you live in that place? Or do you live from an abundance place? Do you live with an infinite mindset where you think, I have a longer term game? This is a longer term journey. And within that, I'm going to hit little milestones along the way. Because when you do, you will keep your head down, you will push on, you will gain invaluable strength, resilience and confidence, and you will step into the person that I know you are by living with that frame of mind. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. Have a think. What are you? Infinite or finite? Let me know. I'd love to know. If you'd have enjoyed this podcast, I would love it and appreciate it if you share it on your social media, or just drop me a message. Let me know what you think. It always helps me. So as again, I am Charlotte from Charlotte Mitchell Coaching. This is the Eat, Sleep, Lift, Repeat podcast. And until next time, I will leave you to your day.